Phylicia Rashad's tribute to Malcolm-Jamal Warner at the 2025 Emmy Awards was more than just a memoriam. It was a profound moment of connection, grief, and celebration of a life that meant so much to so many. On September 14, 2025, at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, during the 77th Primetime Emmys, Rashad stood center stage to honor her TV son, Warner, when paying tribute in the show's annual In Memoriam segment. She began by evoking the image of a young actor the world watched grow up, Theo Huxtable, the beloved teenager on The Cosby Show, who matured into a man whose legacy stretched far beyond laughter on screen. Rashad described Warner as a beloved teenager in an iconic television series who the world watched grow into manhood, reminding everyone that his presence had been witnessed evolving, learning, inspiring, struggling, and succeeding. Her voice carried not just nostalgia, but admiration. She emphasized that though Warner and the others who passed this past year are no longer here physically, their impact will remain, that their lasting impressions will continue to live on through story, that they touched lives. She closed her tribute with the sentiment that whether you grew up watching them or have just now discovered their brilliance, their light remains in the very fabric of our industry. Behind those words was the full weight of what Malcolm-Jamal Warner had been, a child actor who navigated stardom with grace, a man who expanded into music, poetry, and advocacy, someone who cared deeply about how he would be remembered. In his final public interview in May, just 2 months before his tragic death, Warner reflected deeply on legacy. He said he thought about mortality, about what it meant to leave behind not just television credits, but kindness, integrity, love, being a good person. He acknowledged that The Cosby Show would be one lane of his legacy, but he also wanted people to remember all the paths he walked after that show ended. The details of his death only intensified the shock and sense of loss. On July 20th, 2025, Warner drowned while swimming with his daughter off the coast of Costa Rica on a beach without lifeguards, caught in a rip current. Surfers rescued his daughter, but despite efforts to revive him, including CPR, he was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 54. The cause? Accidental asphyxiation by submersion. After the news broke, tributes poured in from across the entertainment world. His mother remembered him as a kind, loving man with a huge heart for humanity, writing that all who met him, however briefly, were better for the encounter. His widow, Dr. Tanisha Warner, shared love and vulnerability, acknowledging grief, but also establishing 2 major philanthropic initiatives in his name: the Warner Family Foundation, to support young artists, and River and Ember, to nurture parent-child relationships rooted in healing. Co-stars spoke too. Keisha Knight-Pulliam, who played Rudy Huxtable, called him "my big brother," posting a video montage of Warner and their daughters expressing the deep bond that lasted far beyond their years growing up together on set. Bill Cosby as well reacted. Although weighed by the controversies surrounding The Cosby Show's creator, Warner had always spoken of pride in the show's cultural importance, in its representation of an affluent Black family at a time when such images were rare. Rashad's tribute was framed by that history. The Cosby Show ran from 1984 to 1992. Rashad as Claire Huxtable and Warner as Theo Huxtable created one of television's most iconic mother-son relationships, one that resonated with millions. Warner earned an Emmy nomination early in his career and later went on to prove his versatility. Roles in Malcolm and Eddie, Read Between the Lines, The Resident, and others. As a musician, he won a Grammy in 2015 for Jesus Children. As a poet and public voice, he spoke about representation, integrity, and sustaining the self in the entertainment industry. At the Emmys, the emotional intensity was heightened by a performance of Go Rest High on That Mountain by Lainey Wilson and Vince Gill, a song of mourning and remembrance, matching the weight of the moment. Names of other stars lost in the past year were also read out. Michelle Trachtenberg, Terry Garr, Ozzy Osbourne, Lonnie Anderson, Richard Chamberlain, George Wendt, Linda Lavin, Quincy Jones, among others. But it was Warner's tribute that struck many as the most personal, the one that cut deeper. Many viewers said Rashad's words didn't feel like a formal address, but a conversation, remembering a son, not just a star. Social media after the Emmys reflected this. Clips of Rashad's speech spread. Fans shared memories of Warner's funniest Theo moments, his music, his poetry, and instances of quiet kindness. Comments poured in. People said they'd grown up with him, that they admired how he maintained dignity, that his death felt unfair because he had so much more to give. Others reflected on how the Cosby Show's legacy remains complicated, yet for many, Warner represented the best of what the show could be, a story of family, love, consistency, and growth. One of the most touching things is how Warner wanted to be remembered. In that final interview, he spoke of walking through the world needing to maintain his soul, of being a good person despite darkness, of legacy beyond fame. Rashad's tribute picked up that thread. She spoke not just of the public impact, but of the soul, the light, the impact on individual lives. Watching Rashad deliver her speech, one felt time collapse. Decades of television history, of shared laughter and tears, of childhoods shaped by TV, all rushing back. Her voice, steady, kind, full of love, reminded us of the power of mentorship, of maternal love on screen, of someone who never forgot the bond. Warner's legacy continues in concrete form, through his family's foundations, through the works he left behind, through the lives he touched. He showed that the child star label does not have to imprison. He became more: artist, poet, father, husband, public figure with conscience. As the Emmys ended that night amid applause and tears, one thing was clear. The world saw not just a tribute to a beloved actor, but a carving of memory. Phylicia Rashad didn't just honor Malcolm-Jamal Warner, she reminded us what it means to live a life worth remembering. She reminded us that legacies are more than shows and roles. They are kindness, consistency, the courage to remain human in fame.